Well, for several years, I've been studying emotional development in children, in their families and in their friendships. And more recently, I've been looking at the dynamics of marriage. And I've noticed that each of us has within us something I call a judgment meter, constantly working to assess other people and our relationships with them as either positive or negative. So two systems of judgment, approval and disapproval, very broadly, praise and blame, shape our daily interactions as well as our long-term relationships. There's no point in trying not to be judgmental. As humans, we have judgmental brains, and judgment is what we do. Looking at conversations and arguments between couples, I've been amazed at how much of those interchanges include either overt or implicit messages of praise or blame. And I've also discovered that the ratio of praise statements to blame statements is an important variable in terms of whether that marriage will survive or fail. Unfortunately, there's a new force in our environment that triggers our judgment, but also distorts it. And this is social media that often inspires very quick judgments, often very negative judgments on the basis of very little evidence. It doesn't encourage reflection. It doesn't encourage nuance. It actually rewards negative judgments, and it's often careless about the human impact of our judgments. But in any of the contexts in which we make judgments, these can be sound or less sound. And one of our lifelong tasks is to ensure that we avoid many of the common biases that make our judgment vulnerable. There are biases of self-serving biases. There are biases based on stereotypes. There's a confirmation bias that closes us to new evidence that might challenge our existing beliefs. I argue that these are actually judgments, and they're extremely important. They have a huge impact on our personal lives, and they form not only our character, but also our relationships with other people.